his sloppy Nazi mouth right over that fat bull hog. And that is apparently the origin of that upper lip mustache. That upper lip mustache was to catch all the succulent drops when he's choking on jizz. Flavor saver. And that giant bull dick is pummeling the back of his throat and fills it up. That when he comes out of his nose, because a lot of the jizz comes out of his nose, that's just enough mustache to catch the jizz. That's why he had that mustache. A lot of people don't know. Imagine if women had dicks and men had pussies and we were just really into big dicks. That's just as possible. That's entirely possible. Isn't it? Futurists, all these technological innovators, they all see the same end game. But isn't it entirely possible? I mean, it's entirely possible. I think it's entirely possible the Clintons are murderers. I think it's entirely possible. And people like John Anthony West and yourself and some other folks like Graham Hancock are proposing that it's entirely possible that there were many different eras of construction in Egypt, and it's entirely possible.
Entirely possible.
It's entirely possible that Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, you can't be good at everything. Yeah, that's a fact. It's not possible. If you had a magic wand, and someone said you could do whatever you want to fix this, what would you do? You know, like if you were the king of the world, said, Ed, what are we going to do? So let's say you become president. You going to become president?
Why'd you do that?
No shot. All right. President Bernie, what do you do? So fascinating. Yeah, I've always thought that was fascinating. It really is fascinating. That's fascinating. There's actually a documentary, a fascinating documentary. This stuff is so unbelievably fascinating. It's like, I look at things that are fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. Roosevelt, fascinating. I'm fascinated by wolves. I'm so fascinated by animals. So fascinated. That is a fascinating book. Alaska is a fascinating place. The mind is a fascinating solution. That's fascinating. It's really fascinating, man.
Prison doesn't begin and end at the gate. Prison is in the mind. It's locked in one world that's dead and dying, or it's open to a world that's free and alive.
Hold on, this guy sounds like me.
That
You should have a podcast. You should have a podcast. Well, you know the story of Fritz Haber, right? The guy
Yes.
You know
Dude,
that's
I'm so fucking tired of this shit.
And Carlin,
Why?
On the history of the
It just
Mongols.
keeps wanting to fucking...
At the risk of repeating myself over and over again, which I do all the time, but when you...
I can't just stop.
It's processed by your liver,
bro.
and it produces something called 11-hydroxy.
I have stop and go, but no.
Smell is a weird thing, man. It's really weird that we all accept that there's some invisible shit that we can take in with a hole in our face. And what I say is the fart theory. And the fart theory is, if someone farted and you couldn't smell it, you'd have no idea that there's something around you. It's totally, completely invisible. But if someone farts, you'd fucking smell it. But if you didn't have a nose, you'd be just sitting in someone's stench. How do we not know that there are an infinite amount of things that we just can't detect? I have a theory on that. It's called the fart principle.
I have no understanding of how that principle could relate to this, but I'm all there.
This is why. This is a bad example, but it's not a bad one. If you fart and you didn't have a nose, no one would know. If we didn't have a sense of smell, we could still get along in this life.
No, I agree.
It was a way to visually see if food was
It's not an individual hallucination. They're all seeing it.
But what I'm saying is, it's entirely possible that there's multiple dimensions or multiple things that we can't perceive, that we don't have the senses for.
No, I kind of
pull this thing like right up like a fist from your face. There we go.
I always do battle ropes to just take a look at how.
Hold this microphone up to your face. Take about a fist from your face.
All right.
Try to keep this like a fist from your face. Pull this microphone like a fist from your face. There we go. Grab this mic and keep it like a fist from your face. It's a good reference point.
This is good.
Perfect. One. Boom. And we're live. Sound on to that microphone, young lady.
Especially the comics where they go and they get that sitcom.
Grab that microphone.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Universal basic income. This is what this is all about. Yes.
They can't make shit from the sides. Like, it's like they're fucking retarded.
Missouri.
I have not,
Springfield,
Missouri. They haven't made one since I've been on this team. They haven't made anything from the side of the corners.
You don't have to move.
Since I've been on this fucking team, bro. Not
Psychedelics.
fucking one.
Yeah, not joking. It sounds ridiculous because people associate psychedelics with non-realistic things, with hallucinations. They don't look at it the way I look at it.
I'm going with, okay, do I try it or do I not? Or
if you wanted to do something, what I would recommend is Going to Peru, doing like an ayahuasca retreat. Do one of those.
After you recommended for me to do ayahuasca, I'm sitting at the table with Tom Joe, and people are like, well, why are you down here? You know, I'm like, oh, well, a good friend of mine had suggested to go, and I had mentioned your name, and they're like, but Joe, I've never done ayahuasca. And this is before my first drink, and I'm thinking, what the hell? I'm all the way in the Amazon.
I'm like, Amber, you should go to Mars.
Yeah, like what?
N-dimethyltryptamine, which is the active ingredient in ayahuasca. Have you done that? Alex, have you ever done DMT? No. Do you want to? You've done regular DMT too, right? Yeah. Does the experience mirror taking synthetic 5-MeO DMT? Have you ever had psychedelic experiences? I had a crazy dream last night that was, I had DMT trip in my dream. So if you just fed DMT synthesized to sheep, it wouldn't be toxic. What I'm going to tell you about is your brain produces chemical while you're sleeping.
But I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna be honest about it.
You actually are the one that turned me on to it, the DMT.
The story of Moses and the burning bush to the acacia bush and the acacia tree, which is rich in DMT.
You know, once I did, I wanted to do it again and again and again. And they said you shouldn't do too much, Mike. But I said, man, I gotta, you know.
I don't think you should listen to the people say you shouldn't do it too much. I think you should do it as much as you want.
That's what I agree with too.
Yeah, you can handle it.
So my whole life, since I was about, my first memories were every night was a DMT trip. So I basically, I don't want this to sound arrogant, it's not, I've seen everything. Listen, we all know about Jerry Epstein, okay? And I don't know about Jerry Epstein. That was the Lolita Express.
You can't say you've seen everything.
What is that?
Bill Clinton was like on 20 flights, first it was 7.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Took to
now
this
I know
pedophile
what you're
island that has
talking
a
about.
temple in it. And then he was also flying to this Middle Eastern country with this sheik that's a admitted pedophile with multi-million-dollar checks at Bill Clinton on the plane. And Bill Clinton's a known sexual predator. Okay, so all this stuff's going on, and so they started bringing up lawsuits against Donald, claiming he'd been with Epstein, even though there's no proof in the law, because they're making laws even on private jets. None of it was ever true.
So this is this place, Bohemian Grove, and the idea was that all the elites would go there and they would engage in these occult rituals.
This is in America?
Yeah.
There does seem to be, amongst the American ruling elites, there does seem to be a proclivity for